अस्सलाम वालेकुम नाज़रीन, देसी टीवी यूएसए के साथ मैं हूं किरण खान। आए नज़र डालते हैं आज की खुसूसी रिपोर्ट की जानिब। लीग ऑफ वुमेन वोटर्स ENGAGE बेकर्स रिप्ले के ज़रिए एहतमाम फोर्ट बैंड से ताल्लुक़ रखने वाले उम्मीदवारों के फोरम का इनेकाद किया गया, जिसमें शुगरलैंड के मेयर के उम्मीदवार नौशाद करमली, मिशेल माइकिस्का, कैरोल मैककटच्यून, नौशाद करमली और विलियम फिरगोसन को एक प्लेटफॉर्म पर इकट्ठा किया गया। ये तकरीब हफ्ता 26 अप्रैल को यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ ह्यूस्टन शुगरलैंड में हुई। हर उम्मीदवार ने अपने अपने विजन का इजहार किया। करमली ने स्मार्ट ग्रोथ पर जोर दिया, मैकिस्का ने आवामी तहफ़्फ़ुज़ पर बात की, मैककटच्यून ने मयार ज़िंदगी पर बात की, करमली ने माशी तरक्की पर अपनी तवज्जो मरकूज़ की और फिरगोसन ने माली जिम्मेदारी पर गुफ्तगू की। जज सोनिया रैश जस्टिस ऑफ द पीस प्रेसिडेंट 3 ने फॉर्म से खिताब करते हुए वोटर से कहा है कि वो मुकामी इंतखाबात में फ़ाल और मुतहरिक किरदार अदा करें। ये फॉर्म फोर्ट बैंड के रिहायशियों को 2025 के इंतखाबात में बेहतर फैसले और आगाही फ्राहम करने के लिए मुनक्किद किया गया था। आइए आपको दिखाते हैं फॉर्म में क्या क्या हुआ।
Office. We strongly believe that hate speech, discrimination, and bigotry have no place in our community. So any expression or promotion of hatred or discrimination will not be tolerated, especially expressions promoting violence. So we're going to ask that you please maintain decorum and respect. I know that there are pretty heated political divisions on both sides of the aisle. And I'm asking that since this is a 501c3 event that we remain respectful and not venture into hate. So ad hominem attacks will also not be tolerated. And us MCs reserve the right to ask candidates who are unable to hold themselves to this standard to leave the stage. I don't think we're going to do that, and I hope we don't. And we expect the same level of decorum from the audience as well. So I'm now going to pass off the microphone to Nikki, who appears to have Okay, I'll go ahead and introduce the format for this event, and then we'll immediately go ahead and get started. So all candidates will have an opportunity to answer at least 2 to 3 questions. I'm sorry, all candidates will have the chance to answer at least 3 questions that are at length, and then about 4 to 5 rapid response questions. Before they go ahead and answer those questions, they will be given 1 minute for an introduction. And during the question period, each candidate will have 1 minute for response. We have a timekeeper right here in the front, raising her hand, who will go ahead and ensure that all candidates are on track. We will repeat this for each candidate. Questions will include traditional questions as well as the rapid response. After we conclude questions, the candidates will be given 1 minute for a closing statement. At the end of the scheduled program, the floor will be open for non-RSVP candidates, 2026 candidates, and additional audience Q&A. So, at this time, I am going to ask that the candidates for Fort Bend ISD Position 3, Afshi Sharania and Rick Garcia, join us on the stage.
Hi, my name is Afshi Sharania, and I live in Fort Bend ISD. I've lived here for about 35 years. I am a product here of Fort Bend ISD, went to local high school, Clements, and I have a son here who goes to Sertasha Middle School. I've been volunteering in this community for over 35 years, which is when I landed here. I'm a graduate of the University of Texas at Austin with a bachelor's in business and a master's in business from the University of Houston. I've been in business since I was 20 years old and been volunteering here since when I came back. I have extensive experience, over 15 years in the vocational education space, working with community members, and that's because education is something that's been very important to my family. My dad's one of 10 kids, the only one who was able to get an education. He's a medical doctor, a surgeon, a lawyer, and he went on to then do his master's. And he's a lifelong learner, which is what he's kind of given to us. So thank you, I'm grateful to be here, and thank you to Engage for their endorsement. I really appreciate it.
Hello, my name is Rick Garcia. I am on the school board, incumbent, current board vice president, and it's a pleasure and honor to be here. I've been on the school board for 3 years. I've been active and involved in Fort Bend ISD continuously since my sons was in kindergarten. everything from being involved in the PTO, being a room parent, being involved in campus-based committees, being involved in leadership committees at the district level, eventually becoming a member of the Board Leadership Academy in 2019. I'm currently studying to become a master trustee in the state of Texas, which teaches you how to be a more effective school board member. And I'm working really hard for the community. We're doing a lot of really good things. My goal is to make sure we're producing lifelong learners, making sure that our children are productive beyond high school. And so the biggest things for us right now is to removing the needle. We're finally making good progress, and we're finally seeing positive change in Fort Bend ISD, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Now is not the time for a change, and I had told our administration that I would work with him, work very hard. We're doing really good things right now, so thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Just real quick before we go into the next question, I want to clarify that MPH is a sister organization of an organization called MPH Action, and that is the org that endorsed her. It's a separate legal entity, and that's not something the staff are involved in. So I want to clarify that. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. So we're going to jump right into the 1-minute questions. So starting with Afshi, what do you see as the most important factor in improving student achievement in Fort Bend ISD?
I think we need to go back to the academics. We need to focus on the education. We need to let the teachers teach. There's been a lot of burden that's been put onto the teachers in terms of doing administrative tasks. And I think that has taken away from the teaching itself. We need to go back to those basics and focus on that. We need to provide support to the teachers in the classroom. And we need to go ahead and make sure that our programs are expanded and they are really in all of the schools that we have, in all the schools that should be having the programs versus just in certain schools. Thank you.
Same question? So what we need to do is we need to get back to what we started doing is we switched to phonics. So the challenge we've been having with reading and our students are not reading at grade level is because several years ago the district had switched from phonics to not phonics. And phonics is really the most fundamental thing that we need to do to get children reading. We need to introduce more pre-K opportunities. And I will correct Ms. Charani and say that we're adding more administrative tasks to our teachers. That's not true. We actually have less administrative tasks with our teachers. We were in danger of being taken over by the state for being non-compliant in special ed for several years in a row. We added staff to help that burden because a lot of teachers were having to pick up a lot of that burden. And so we've been working very hard. What we couldn't do in the 4 years prior that we got here before Dr. Smith, he was able to correct that problem in just 6 months. So a lot of the things that we're saying that we're doing that we need to do, we're already doing them. We've got a brand new superintendent. He knows what needs to get done. From my standpoint on the leadership team, I know what needs to be done, and that's what we're doing right now. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Trustee. Our second question comes from one of our partner organizations, Texas Student Union, which is a student organization based here in Fort Bend ISD. They ask, are you supportive or unsupportive of adopting the Bluebonnet education curriculum and why?
Do you want to define it? Because I'll be using my minute then to define it. So, do you want to define what it is?
And could I stand?
You want me to stand? Oh, well, I'm happy to stand, but can you define it? Because it'll take me.
We are short on time, so I am going to ask the candidates to define it themselves. Okay, Garcia can go first if he wants.
So Bluebonnet is not curriculum, it's instructional material. And so the State Board of Education passed a new set of instructional materials, approved a new set. Bluebonnet was on the list. It's on one separate list. There's also a State Board of Education list. It's on both lists. We voted to let the administration review it because we have to let the administration do their work. I had previously said earlier in the year that I was going to support it because it was under my impression that it was required by law. If people were paying attention and if my opponent was being honest, then they would know that I am no longer in support of it, and I have said that if we were voting to adopt it, then I would have voted no. I was recently on several programs that said, would you support it? And I said, well, if the community doesn't want it, then I don't want it. I've said many things that I've had a lot of concerns about it. The biggest thing is obviously very controversial. And so we do have state code that says Hebrew scriptures must be included from a literary and historical perspective. What I saw last month, it was not that. It seemed to be a whole lot more than that. But in addition to that, A lot of the rigor, a lot of the pedagogy of it, I just didn't agree with, and so I'm very happy to defer to the administration's recommendation, but like I said, oh, sorry, thank you.
Hi there. I have been firm on the fact that we will not be adopting the Blue Bond curriculum. If I'm voted in, my vote is going to be a no. It's been a no from day one. It hasn't flip-flopped. It hasn't moved back and forth. I did not email voters saying, hey, making this a partisan election, saying, hey, no Democrats on the board, not saying that, hey, I'm going to be voting for this Bible curriculum as it's called. My opponent, Mr. Garcia, was asked to put this in writing back to the same base of voters that he emailed saying, hey, I am standing firm that I will not be voting for it. Unfortunately, he has not been able to do so, but I can tell you I am firm. It doesn't matter. Our education is nonpartisan, and that is how we want to keep it. We have, Fort Bend is very diverse. We have teachers from various different, diverse backgrounds, faiths, cultures, as well as students. We want to make sure that we do not create additional divides in our school than what is needed. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your answer. We have 2 more 1-minute response questions that we're going to try to get through. Actually, 1 more, I'm sorry. So in the US, 10% of adults and 20% of Gen Z identify as LGBTQ+. As trustee, what would you do to support LGBTQ+ students?
And if you could both stand when you answer, that would be helpful for the audience. Thank you. Can you repeat the question, sorry?
In the US, 10% of adults and 20% of Gen Z identify as LGBTQ+. As trustee, what will you do to support LGBTQ+ students?
First of all, I would make sure that the policy that was passed by the board, that was voted in, that my opponent voted for, I would make sure that we go ahead and reverse that. Because what that policy is doing is it is actually asking teachers to police genders for our students, okay? That is not needed. That is an administrative task that we're adding onto the teachers. Teachers are not in this profession because we're paying them $100,000 or anything like that, which we should. They're in this profession because they care about the kids, they care about the teaching piece of it, and what we're doing is we're limiting them from what they need to be doing, which is educating our children. That is not something we need to make a burden on top of them. It's not incumbent. If there's other reasons that we need to put this policy in place, let's divide it up, but let's not, this is a small sliver of students, and the minute we start putting these kind of policies in place, we're going to start making these students a target. And there's already bullying in our schools. We need to address the bullying that currently happens in our schools and address that, not add or create additional reasons for that. Thank you.
So I'll correct my opponent once again. This is not going to create an additional burden. And this is not an anti-LGBTQ policy. This is a parents' rights policy. Parents have a right to know what's going on with their child, what their child's saying. I'm a father, I have kids, and I don't appreciate the fact that they're saying that it's being political. The people that are saying it's being political, they're the ones politicizing it. And it is not true. So what happens at home if my son decides they want to identify as, or they want to use pronouns, and I don't know about it, and they're going through something, they're having issues, they're having mental struggles, and then my child goes and commits suicide. Then where is the parent left with the school? And when the school is keeping secrets, when my opponent is sending out text messages saying, I'm all for transparency, but the first thing I want to do is I want to reverse a policy where we're keeping secrets from the parents. We don't keep secrets in Fort Bend ISD. We embrace culture, we embrace diversity. Our high schools have LGBTQ clubs. We support that, I support that. We support freedom of speech, we support freedom of expression, and the policy has nothing to do with that. So I just wanted to make that clear, thank you.
All right, so we are going to go through 4 rapid response questions. I'm going to ask for a single word response to each of these. First one is, do you currently or have you ever had children attending Fort Bend ISD schools, yes or no?
Yes, currently.
Yes, I have. 2 boys.
Okay. Our second question is from a partner organization, Texans Against Gerrymandering. When it comes to school board elections, do you support the current system of at-large trustee elections, or would you support a new system where trustees are elected from single-member districts?
I would leave it at large or move it to instant rank voting. My choice is instant rank voting. But if that's not an option, it's majority, yes, the way it is.
Okay.
I like the way it is right now. The way it works for us works pretty well.
All right. Third question is, should school start times be adjusted for middle and high school students, yes or no?
No.
That is a big discussion in the community. We're always looking at what the community says, the input that they're providing, and what the SHAC's School Health Advisory Council looks at. And so I know my kids will love it. They get to sleep in a little bit later, but we're always open. So.
Thank you. And our final question is from Fort Bend Voters League. Do you support the current policy of removing and reviewing books from schools? Yes or no?
I do not. I think we need to have...
One word response, please.
No.
We follow state law. We follow what the law tells us to do.
Yes or no?
Okay.
That's not what the law says.
So repeat the question.
Do you support the current district policy of removing and reviewing books from schools?
I support it. I voted for it.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much to our Fort Bend ISD Position 3 candidates. Oh, yes. We're going to have closing statements, and then we will move on to the next segment. 1 minute for each.
Oh, sorry.
So I've been very active and involved. I haven't for 13 straight years. My son was in kindergarten. I've been very active and involved in this district. I love this district. I'm not a politician. People keep claiming that I'm a politician. I'm not. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I love this community. I used to work for this district. My wife works here, and we're doing really good things for this school district. This whole election has gotten very, very interesting from that standpoint. So I'm here. I'm a servant leader. I put in about 30 hours a week doing this job. I travel, I donate 2 weeks of my own personal vacation back to the district to volunteer. Just 2 weeks ago, I was substitute teaching a Kickstart class, because that's what I do. I still go to Oakland Elementary and I help with car rider line. I'm still a member of the Dad's Club, and I don't even have kids at Oakland anymore. So I love the district, and I'm here serving Servant Leader's Heart. You will never find me being political on the dais. You will never find me posting on Facebook, being political and being ugly with the community. I work with the community. I'm engaged with the community. I listen. We may not always agree, but I don't go and post everybody's business out there. I do it in the best of my ability, and I serve with civility and decorum, and I have for 3 years, and I will continue for another 3 years.
So I will tell you that this is a different district from when I went to school here 35 years ago. It's definitely a different district 6 years ago as well, right? It's evolved. When 6 years ago we had 3 schools that were overcrowded. Today we've got 6-some plus schools overcrowded. We continue to schools that are under capacity. This is hitting our bottom line, by the way. When we continue to have schools that are under capacity, that we're having to pay because state's only paying us per child that goes in those schools, that affects our bottom line. We need to be more fiscally responsible and fiscally accountable to the community. As you've been aware, I mean, we've had a bond shortfall, a deficit, $168 million. This community trusted the board to pass a bond and do the things that were on the bond. Whatever happened, fingers can get pointed. At the end of the day, we are accountable. The board is accountable to the community. So we want to make sure that we do the right things. That is why I am running, because I've been in this community for 35 years. I've lived here, I've volunteered here, and I'm decisive in my decision making. I don't flip-flop. So I know everyone who's here, who's running, has a heart for the students, but with the heart, you also need to have a backbone. Sorry. Appreciate it.
I'm an enterprise data architect, and that is really just a fancy way of saying that I help systems communicate better by using data. When I'm not doing that, I'm a psych nurse. I am able to have really, really difficult conversations in a respectable manner. I speak 5 languages, not because I'm smart, because I'm nosy, y'all. While on the board, I pushed for community engagement and innovative programs and brought things like early literacy, early college, high school, piano tech. Do I get a little bit? Oh, she did? I think I'm sorry.
Thank you.
So much more.
Thank you for those intros. Our first question is, again, what do you see as the most important factor in improving student achievement in Fort Bend ISD? And we'll start with Allison.
So there are quite a few things that, I'm sorry, repeat the question again, I'm sorry.
Sure, let me sure I got it right.
Okay.
What do you see as the most important factor in improving student achievement in Fort Bend ISD?
Well, Fort Bend ISD, one of the ways that we really need to improve student achievement is via pathways, innovative courses.
Not just east and west, but north to south. We have a very diverse district, racially, economically, geographically. It's huge. We're the 6th biggest district in Texas. And so we cannot have a one-size-fits-all approach to any one school or feeder pattern. So we need to really make sure that we're focusing on the needs of individually as much as possible of each school. Now that takes money. So we need trustees who are going to advocate for more funds from our state legislature. We need trustees who will provide strong reasoning and whether it's and build those relationships with our state reps and our state senators, because we have not received an increase in our individual allotments since 2019, folks. This is not okay. So we need to make sure that our kids are taken care of, because public education is under attack, and we need trustees who understand that. I thought I saw you raise your time, almost you raise your time. The other thing is we need to take care of our teachers, because they will take care of our students. If we take care of them, they will take care of our students, and the achievement will happen.
Thank you for those answers. Our next question is the one from Texas Student Union, our partner. Are you supportive or unsupportive of adopting the Bluebonnet education curriculum, and why? And if you'd like to each take some time in that answer to tell us what implementing Bluebonnet means to you, that would be helpful. Thank you. Yes, please.
So I have been, since day one, opposed to the Bluebonnet curriculum. I have spoken at board meetings and organized and helped others to attend. The Bluebonnet curriculum is not right for Fort Bend County. It's not right for any kid in Texas, but especially Fort Bend County. I realize the administration is trying to do their due diligence in ordering a sample set. Not only does that sample set cost $9,000, but it's taking thousands of hours of our highly paid and very talented administrative and executive level team members to review that and make a decision. A lot of hours. So I'm even more upset about that. We shouldn't even have to be considering this. It's not a requirement to consider it. We can say no right away. There are other curriculums that we can choose from. We don't have to settle for this Bluebonnet. And as everyone is calling it, it's the Bible curriculum. Obviously, we live in Fort Bend. There are references in there that are not Christianity, are not respectful. And so we need to make sure that everyone is represented. Thank you so much.
I'm definitely against the Bluebonnet curriculum. To me, this is a curriculum that is written, faith-based curriculum. And of course, that to me is something that should be taught at home and not via our schools. Not only is it something that I'm against to be teaching anything that is faith-based in our schools to our children, it also softens some of the really hard truths about the United States, and that is also unfair. And basically, we have no information on its rigor. I was on the board that the school, when the school district wrote its own curriculum, we went into the pandemic, we wrote more curriculum. I think that our curriculum, during that time we had 0 failing schools, so I think that our curriculum writing can help our students grow. At the end of the day, when we remove information from our students, we fail our students on an international level.
Thank you both. And our next question that is also a 1-minute answer is, in the US, 10% of adults and 20% of Gen Z identify as LGBTQ+. If elected, what would you do to support LGBTQ+ students? This time we'll start with Allison.
Sure. As a psych nurse, it is what, I work with an organization, I volunteer with an organization within Fort Bend ISD that works really hard to prevent teen suicide. So we know that in our communities where identification is different than biological identification, and identification in any way is different, is often difficult for these students. So one of the pillars of support for students would be psych supports, current at large.
I support the current. I'm also open to discussion.
Should school start times be adjusted for middle and high school students? Yes or no?
High school, yes. Middle school, no.
High school, yes. Middle school, no.
And last, from the Fort Bend Voters League, do you support the current policy of removing and reviewing books from schools commonly known as book bans? Yes or no? Allison.
No.
Okay, do we support the book bans? Or
the policy is looking about it?
Yes.
No.
Okay, that concludes our questions. I'll hand off to you for the conclusions. So 1 minute conclusions.
I would love to. So this is a really important seat, y'all, because there will be a new board member in this seat. And with the current trajectory of Fort Bend ISD, you need someone with experience, integrity, and someone that rolls up their sleeves and takes action. I work in our Fort Bend ISD communities with our students. I work with underprivileged kids in Fort Bend ISD. I sit on the board to help students with needs. I have the experience to hit the ground running and to right this ship. I have been in the district for quite a long time. I've raised kids from K through 12 in the district. What our ISD needs currently is to refocus on our students, take the politics out of the boardroom, focus on our staff. Vouchers are coming, y'all. You need somebody at the state level. I was selected to be able to represent us.
So I'm a mom with kids in the district currently. I have been on the front lines fighting for rights for our kids since 2019, since my kids entered the district. I have my finger on the pulse of the community. If you want someone who is actively engaged and currently with the different schools and the school district, I'm the person for you. Additionally, some candidates and folks who care about Fort Bend ISD, they volunteer from time to time, but I really live it. Every night I'm home with my kids, trying to help them with their homework, going to the events. I live Fort Bend ISD every day, and I don't have a conflict of interest for someone who's someone in my family that works for the school district. I actually just care about Fort Bend ISD because I want a stronger community for all of us. The swath of Missouri City and Sugar Land in the middle, not Harvest Green, not Sienna, we're going through some changes, y'all. And we need people who are willing to make sure we're stepping up so the whole community stays strong.
Thank you both so much. That was Allison Drew and Angie Horsvicki for Fort Bend ISD positions.
I'll read it off while you get your timer situation going. So our first question is, how will you support small businesses and local entrepreneurs as mayor?
Yes, this is a really big need in Sugar Land. So in particular, one of the things that is inhibiting small business growth is the high cost of rent. So we need to work in bringing tenants and their landlords together to the negotiating table to really bring down the rent. Otherwise, we're going to keep losing small businesses. If you look at City Center, the shops that are there, they don't stay there. They can't stay there because the rent is too expensive. So we need to address that.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I realize we totally skipped the introductions, so we're going to do that first. So if you want to go ahead and make your introduction, and then we'll go down the table and ask the question. Yes.
Hey everyone, my name is Mikeska. I was born and raised in Sugar Land. I've lived here for 28 years. As soon as I got married, I knew that I wanted to come back to Sugar Land to raise my family here because it's a great place to live. So I've been married for 15 years. My son is 6 years old and currently attending Highlands Elementary School. So I was paying attention to those trustees. I'm very invested in Sugar Land. I'm rooted here in this community. I'm invested in its future because I'm a mom. Because I'm a mom of a kid who lives here, and I want him to have a strong future as well. This is personal for me. I don't have ties to land developers. I don't have a business. I am running as a people-first mayor. I'm running for you. So vote for me if you want someone who's going to stand up for the people of Sugar Land. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is William Ferguson. I live here in Sugar Land. Obviously, I've been here for about 18, 19 years. I've been a police officer here in Fort Bend County for 33 years. I've stood on your front line to make sure you guys are safe, and I love doing it. With that said, since 2020, I've been on City Council as your citywide at-large one council member, and I love doing it. I love that our conservative values have shown up in the second lowest property tax rate in the state, the best police, fire, EMS, hands down in the state, and top 3% for our EMS in the nation. We are running your city very, very well. We will continue to do that. I've been with my wife since, 1984. We've been married 35 years, and I would like to continue serving you as your mayor. I'm William Ferguson. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Carol McCutcheon. I've served for 8 years on City Council, longer than any other current council member, and was Mayor Pro Tem from 2019 to 2020. I'm now running to be the next mayor of Sugar Land. My husband and I have been married for 37 years, and we've called Sugar Land home for 32 years. I want to keep Sugar Land as a welcoming place for people from all backgrounds to call home. I want to continue to work to keep Sugar Land moving forward. My top priority is public safety. I want to keep Sugar Land a safe place to live, work, and raise a family. Infrastructure maintenance is also very important. We passed a bond election so we can have the funds to keep our roads and sidewalks maintained. Also, redevelopment is a key issue, but I think it's important for that to be done in a way that's compatible with community values. And with my experience on council, I have much experience with dealing with emergencies. So I'm out of time.
Good afternoon. It's a hot Saturday morning. I've been at the polls all morning. I apologize for that. Naushad Kermally. I am currently your city council member for Telfair, New Territory, and River Park. I've been your city council member for the past 6 years. I'm in my third term. I've not had an opponent in my second and or third term, and now 5 people are running for my seat today because I'm giving my seat up. So imagine that. I love Sugar Land, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I love to get back to our city. We're all going to focus on safety. It is important that we all feel safe. We've got one of the finest police forces in the nation here in the city of Sugar Land. We're going to focus on development. With less than 4% of land left, we're going to make sure we develop it. I do have a real estate background. I don't have ties to real estate in the city of Sugar Land within the development community. What I do have is experience to develop and find the right developers to come in and develop this city. I'm a registered nurse by profession. I've done that for 10 years, and I became an entrepreneur. After I,
Small businesses, all right. Key thing is we need consumers, period. We need consumers that, you ready, are not on Amazon every day. We need consumers walking in and out of our retail. How do we do that? We either need to have younger consumers that are out spending money, or our older consumers like myself, 57 years old, are literally changing their mindset and saying, I need to invest in local. Our economic development team regularly is seeking to keep and bring business into our city. We will never stop doing that. I am a small business owner. I absolutely love using our brick and mortar. Macy's, Dillard's, I don't know. You gotta purchase local. Our government's doing all we can to bring the business here, bring the consumer here, and we will continue to do that.
Yes, it's absolutely critical that we support our small businesses and all these wonderful entrepreneurs that we have here in the city. And we do have an economic development department that's very aggressively trying to bring businesses here. Of course, the focus has been primarily on larger businesses, and I think we need to redirect them to focus even more on bringing in those small businesses, because they are so very critical to our city. And we do have a new program here where the city is partnering with the smaller businesses around the shopping centers, so you can have a facade improvements, lighting improvements, and different improvements to the exterior of shopping centers. So I think by revitalizing the exterior of the shopping centers, that's also going to help to bring in new businesses.
you all have seen pictures of me around town. There's 125 of them. But what you don't see sometimes is the 46 small businesses, from nail salons, hair salons, gyros places, smoothie places, chai places, tea houses, where I have a 6-foot banner in a small business. 46 of them throughout just the city of Sugar Land. I've been able to do that because I've worked with small businesses and the owners know who I am. I bring in lots of ribbon cuttings for these folks as well. We've all done that. The bottom line is 46 of my pop-up banners are within small businesses because I've been working with them. It's vital. They put in their entire 401k to open up their business. It's important that we give back to them. 2019, when Sugar Land Town Center was empty when I got in, it's BB Italia is now there. State Fair is now there. Sweet Paris is now there. It is not 50% empty like I said earlier. It's thriving and it's going to continue to thrive and we'll do it more.
Question with a 1 minute response time is from another audience member. Can y'all still hear me?
Yes.
Fantastic. What steps will you take to make the city more climate resilient, especially in light of Hurricane Beryl and recent power outages? I think for this one, let's maybe start with Councilmember Kermally and then. Sorry about that.
It's a great question. Hurricane Beryl came through in Sugar Land. We were at dead hit last year. Dead on hit. $7.1 million we approved to get our streets cleaned. Go to Missouri City, 4 and 5 months later, they still had trees on the ground. We're gonna make sure that we're resilient, number one, by having implementations of different companies ready to come and service here in Sugar Land. I have contacts with CenterPoint Energy. I make sure that they are doing what they're doing. After Beryl, they're doing much better. Resiliency is important. We also passed a $350 million bond so we can make sure that flooding is not going to happen inside your home within the streets of Sugar Land. We're going to make sure that drainage is very important. We can't control Mother Nature, but we can definitely be prepared for Mother Nature.
Repeat the question. Oh, sure. What will they do to make the city more climate resilient, especially in light of events like Hurricane Beryl and recent power outages?
Okay, yes, well, in 2019, we passed a bond election for $48 million of drainage projects because we had homes that flooded during Hurricane Harvey. We also had other homes that flooded during the May 2019 rain event, and unfortunately, some homes flooded in both circumstances. In the November 2024 bond election, we have another $35 million for drainage projects to further keep homes from flooding. We have $42 million between the city and Fort Bend County to prevent Brazos River erosion. During Hurricane Harvey, we lost 200 feet from Memorial Park. So that's a really great program that we partnered with about 20 different governmental agencies to get that funding. And again, we have emergency operations in place after, like I said, Hurricane Beryl and other storms, so we can go in and get the debris cleaned out and get the roads open again. And we're truly the best in the state on that, I think.
Systems that we have in place are so solid they could endure us as well as Mother Nature. Anytime we see a weakness in our systems that we have in the city, we refine that. We refine that through construction, we refine that through engineering, we refine that. Our city right now is appraised around $22 billion. That Brazos River alone could affect, with flooding, 40 to 50% of the value of our city. It is very important that we use our regional partners to help us fund the improvements for managing the threat that river, and I know this isn't all about river, but that river is one of the largest threats that we have in our community. And our regional partners through TxDOT, through the Brazos River Authority, and the list goes on and on. The federal government, the state government has really done a great job, and our LEADs as well, protecting our community from those threats related to water.
One of the things we shouldn't do is build a gas plant right in the middle of Sugar Land. So, yes, I was against that from the start, and I agree with everything that's been said about flooding. I think that we have done a wonderful job, especially since Hurricane Harvey, because that revealed some vulnerabilities. But what we have not addressed is the power grid, because growing up here in Sugar Land, I was not worried about the power going out as often as I am now. This is a real problem, and ERCOT is undependable and unreliable. And so what are we going to do? The solution, which many cities are doing, is microgrids. And we can do this with environmentally sustainable energy like solar power because there are grants galore for it. This would not cost the city money, and it's environmentally responsible, and it is a future-driven sustainable option. Thank you.
Thank you all. And our last question that has a 1-minute response time is from our constituents at MGH, actually. So around the country, a lot of major cities have passed ceasefire resolutions, and there's been a movement in Sugar Land to do the same. The purpose of these resolutions is to show solidarity for human rights and to affirm the city's support for Sugar Land families affected by the war in Gaza. Would you be willing to support introducing and voting for a ceasefire resolution if elected? And let's start with Michelle.
Absolutely, yes. Sugar Land is a diverse city. It is an international city. It is tone deaf on our part to not participate or to speak about things that are going on around the globe. Our world is getting smaller and more interconnected, and a leader needs to be able to say something about atrocities that are going on around the world, especially if it's affecting their residents that live in their city and that vote. Even if they don't vote, if they are residents, we need to show concern for people who are suffering. A leader must lead with empathy. That is rule number 1. And that is how I have always led, and that's how I will lead.
I apologize, I have a hearing disability, and I really don't even know the question at the moment. I apologize. Would you say it again louder?
Sure, I can say it again. As with other diverse cities across the country, there's been a movement in Sugar Land to support a ceasefire resolution to show for the war in Gaza, whatever you want to call it, to show solidarity as a human rights issue and to help support the families in Sugar Land who've been affected by what's happening in like Palestine and Gaza. Would you support introducing and voting for a ceasefire resolution in Sugar Land?
I got it that time. Thank you. I apologize for my hearing. I am responsible as your city council member and as your future mayor to every single person that is a resident of this city. That is my lane. My lane is your police, fire, EMS, sewer, fresh water, mobility. That is my lane. I stay in my lane. I may have personal views. I may understand what the Palestinians are going through. I may be broken up right now over what happened within the last few days in India with the Hindu neighbors. But listen, as a representative in Sugar Land, my lane is here locally. I do not believe that my platform as a council member should be used to support any opinion, special interest, or otherwise outside of this city.
I'm extremely empathetic to the situation that's been going on in Gaza. It's horrific, but at the same time, as a city council member, my role and the city's role is to conduct the business of the city of Sugar Land. If your house is broken into, if your house is on fire, if you have a heart attack, I mean, we're sending Sugar Land emergency responders to you. We don't have any control over international affairs. And if we give a resolution for one situation, we're really opening up a floodgate because unfortunately there's just a very, very large number of situations across the world that could warrant a resolution. So again, my focus is on the city of Sugar Land and the wonderful people who live there. That being said, there's a bill in the state legislature, HB 3850, that's being considered, and if it passes, then it would allow people to speak off an agenda item for up to 1 minute apiece, and if that's enacted, we'd certainly move forward with that at the city.
As a registered nurse, I have empathy. I understand what's happening overseas or anywhere in the world hurts all of us. Being one of the most diverse cities in all of the United States, with a large Muslim population, with myself being a Ismaili Muslim myself. Unfortunately, I cannot put out a resolution, that is my understanding, because I represent you, the people. You pay us tax dollars to spend your money wisely. I empathize with what happened in India as well. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow in the world because of the world that we're living in today. I empathize. However, my own Muslim community is attacking me as of now because I have not done it as your city council member for the past 6 years. I'm hurt. I'm absolutely hurt that I've been attacked. But it's not about me. It's about all of us, and it's the world that we live in.
Okay, moving on now to the rapid fire questions. And these answers should be yes or no, or at max like 10 seconds or less. So first, if elected in your first 100 days, what would your top priority be in one word? And let's actually start with Councilmember McCutcheon. And move down.
Moving forward with accelerating the new animal shelter.
Can I do that many words or just one?
Say a number of words.
Just kidding. Safety.
Young families.
Development.
Okay, thank you all. What's something you would, this one you can take 10 seconds if short. What's something you would increase in the city budget, and what's something you would decrease? Let's start with Councilmember Ferguson.
Please say it one more time. I apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I heard the baby in my hearing aid, but I couldn't hear you.
Sorry. What, in 10 seconds or less, what's something you'd increase in the city budget, and what's something you would decrease?
10 words or less.
10 seconds.
Our budget is fabulous, and it's proven. I wouldn't increase the spending or decrease it.
I would increase spending for the animal shelter. I think that it needs some more care. As far as decreasing, I'm not detailed enough to know what would be decreased.
I would continue to increase funding for our police, fire, and EMS. I would decrease after I go in and see where we can trim some fat, and I do believe all government has fat, even as a city councilman.
Yes, I'm ready to be your next mayor. I have the knowledge, experience, and leadership qualities needed to keep Sugar Land strong and vibrant. I have the track record of getting things done. I have the vision for our city. And again, I want to keep our tax rate as low as possible while maintaining our critical services. I really appreciate you all coming out this evening. And so anyway, I said I am 6 on the ballot, that I hope to be #1 in your hearts, and early voting is going on today till 5, and then through Tuesday, and then election day is on May 3rd. So really appreciate your vote and support, so together we can create an even brighter future for our city. Thank you.
I'm William Ferguson. I'm running to be your mayor of Sugar Land. With me, you will continue to receive safety as your top priority. You will continue to receive development, economic development, redevelopment as my second priority. And the third thing is I want to put this city back together emotionally after this election. We are the most divided city right now during this election, unfortunately, but we will put it back together as a diverse city that loves each other as a neighbor. We're going to make that happen. Now, with that said, I want to be real clear. I do not protest the city. I do not have conflicts of interest. And I will be willing to make the very tough decisions that I've made historically. I will listen to you, just like I did Tuesday when I voted against an issue of a lack of transparency in our community. I will hear you. Thank you.
Once again, I'm Michelle Mikeska. A little bit about my background, because I talked about my family in the beginning. I was a teacher for 5 years, a college pastor for 5 before that. I have made my life's work about investing in young lives. The other thing that was not mentioned here is that since 2019, we have lost 10,000 residents in Sugar Land. We need to be thinking about the future and attracting young families. And as a mom of a 6-year-old, I have the plans to make that happen. And I also will allow anyone to speak during the public comment section. You can protest me however you like. That's our right. We have the freedom to do that. My name is Michelle Mikeska, and I'm a mayor for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you all for taking time this afternoon to come to listen to us. It's very important to be an educated voter. I have run, after my nursing career of 10 years at Bentop Hospital, I started a company that we took one retail store to 2,000 retail stores nationwide. I'm the only one that's run a big business, a $1 billion business. The city of Sugar Land is a $450 million budget this year. I understand that when you save money, you make money, and that's how businesses succeed. I also understand that you can't continue to do the same things over and over and over. And that's why thinking outside the box is what I bring. I bring a different style of leadership. I promise you that I'm gonna plant myself for the next 9 months at City Hall, and I'm gonna wedge myself into city manager, assistant city manager, and other director meetings to understand what's going on a day-to-day level, even though we're not full-time. I'm gonna promise you that, and I'm gonna give it my all to help you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all so much.
We need to go back to those basics and focus on that. We need to provide support to the teachers in the classroom, and we need to go ahead and make sure that our programs are expanded and they are really in all of the schools that we have, in all the schools that should be having the programs versus just in certain schools. Thank you.
Same question? So what we need to do is we need to get back to what we started doing is we switched to phonics. So the challenge we've been having with reading and our students are not reading at grade level is because several years ago the district had switched from phonics to not phonics. Phonics is really...
It's not incumbent. If there's other reasons that we need to put this policy in place, let's divide it up, but let's not, I mean, this is a small sliver of students, and the minute we start putting these kind of policies in place, we're going to start making these students a target, you know, and there's already bullying in our schools. We need to address the bullying that currently happens in our schools and address that, not add or create additional reasons for that. Thank you.
And this is not an anti-LGBTQ policy. This is a parents' rights policy. Parents have a right to know what's going on with their child, what their child's saying. I'm a father, I have kids, and I don't appreciate the fact that they're saying that it's being political. The people that are saying it's being political, they're the ones politicizing it, and it is not true. So what happens at home if my son decides they want to identify as, or they want to use pronouns, and I don't know about it, and they're going through something, they're having issues, they're having mental struggles, and then my child goes and commits suicide. Then where is the parent left with the school? When the school is keeping secrets, when my opponent is sending out text messages saying, I'm all for transparency, but the first thing I want to do is I want to reverse a policy where we're keeping secrets from the parents. We don't keep secrets in Fort Bend ISD. We embrace culture, we embrace diversity. Our high schools have LGBTQ clubs. We support that, I support that. We support freedom of speech, we support freedom of expression, and the policy has nothing to do with that. So I just wanted to make that clear, thank you.
All right, so we are going to go through.
Okay, so I think you want to sit down. Thank you, Russ, ma'am.
Okay, all the candidates for Fort Bend ISD position 7 on the Board of Trustees up at the dais. We're going to do all those questions. I hope you thought they were great. I'm going to go through all of them again for these candidates. So we're going to start off again with our intro statements, 1 minute each, please. Angie, why don't you start?
Is this on? Okay. Hi, I'm Angie Wears-Vicky. I am a 15-year resident of Fort Bend in Missouri City. I have 2 kids that I currently attend a Fort Bend ISD school. I've been an active resident first in Missouri City, then as my kids entered the school district in 2019, I got really involved in Fort Bend ISD. I've served on numerous nonprofit. So the first thing is to make sure, policies are going to be inclusive and mindful and acknowledge our students' whole health as well as their mental health. That's one of the biggest things the board does is policies. So that is the major way the board can affect this is through policies. Recently we had a policy inaccurately titled Parental Rights and Responsibilities that was approved. It is effectively a gender policy, and I stood up against that as well. And I will work towards reversing that or modifying that in the way that we need to. The state of Texas doesn't even require it yet, y'all. So we need to make sure that we are taking care of our—
It's going to help us out as an economy. You look around, there's over 40% of commercial office space for lease. Why is that? That's something the city needs to look at and figure out how we can solve that, because that's what's going to help out us, our surrounding community, the people, and the businesses.
Thank you. Our next question is, as city council member, how will you support small businesses and local entrepreneurs? Starting with Amir.
So if you all see that right now, social media is a key, and that's how the city of Sugar Land has been doing it. They just start promoting their events and everything on social media. But in city of Sugar Land, we do not have any platform for small businesses where they can promote. Social media is the key. We can put our all small business information in the social media where they can promote their businesses, offices in that website or in that link where they can, all the individual Sugar Land residents or outside of Sugar Land, they can see that and they can go straight to the promote their businesses and all that. So I'm big on the social media, so I'm gonna work city on that to have promote small businesses via social media and get them more customers, businesses.
So small businesses are owned by our friends, our family, your neighbors, and it's a large part of our community here in Sugar Land. And with that, we need to make sure that we do support them. And that means, looking around, there's construction happening. When construction happens, it jams up the ingress to the businesses, and it's hard for them to stay alive. I know that's an issue on 99 where the hospital is. So we need to make sure that we're supporting of those local businesses. That also gets back to development. We need to have people here. That means we need the jobs here. So if we bring in the big businesses that we've lost, and we give people a reason to live and to work in Sugar Land, that's gonna bring back the people that are gonna spend their money at these local businesses. And it is something that we need to look at. I know what was discussed with the Lake Point project, which is happening over by Whole Foods, is one of the major concerns. They wanna make it residential and commercial, but the reason the developer pushed back on commercial is they say, look, Lake Point is not really surviving as it currently stands. There's a lot of retail that's open. The restaurant couldn't stay afloat. And it's something that we as a city need to look at and what we can do to resolve that, because that's how we're gonna keep our local businesses alive.
Thank you so much. Our third question is, what do you propose to kickstart local growth? And do you support the creation of new mixed-use developments like Sugar Land Town Square? Starting with, let's go with Rob.
Right, so there's a lot that needs to happen with development, and that's what the city is definitely bringing in, the voices and the opinion of the people, everyone sitting in this room, as well as the developers and the city council. And we need to figure out what we're gonna do. Look at Town Center. A lot of available leasing space, and it's not quite as successful as we would hope it to be. And we need to figure out what we can do to revitalize that. Same thing with the Imperial project. The question is, when we build all this new commercial space, is it going to survive and stay afloat? The train going by it every 50 times a day is going to be a concern. There's all things that we have to address in the success of these projects. Same thing with the Floor project is, the developer wants just residential, and obviously there's a need and a desire for that mixed use, and I think we want to have something that is special to Sugar Land and not just a pure apartment grouping over there, whether it's a restaurant or something that the people can do. For instance, the developer talks about, well, people finish their run. What is the reward or the payoff at the end of it? We need something that's going to make Sugar Land special, and that's what we're trying to figure out.
Thank you.
We have a beautiful Sugar Land Town Center. Yes, we do need attractions like that. We have families, we have kids, we have seniors. There's no other place in Sugar Land where the seniors can go at the town center or the parks. We have beautiful parks here. We need to work on the parks, bring some attractions in there to have engaged our seniors and children to go there. We have a big projects that are coming up as a sugar mill at the Lake Point. We were at the Lake Point meeting the other day. They were bringing all the resident areas over there. but I give them the ideas. I'm big about the patio homes. They say, yes, we're going to put the patio homes. I did mention to them that I do not see any dog park there. There's a good point, we need to put a dog park there. We have a beautiful lake over there. I told them, what are you gonna do about this lake? You're a developer, you're spending so much money. We want you to have something in that lake. A lot of people doesn't know about this Lake Point Lake there. There's a lot of people go and do the walk. I want to have something attraction in that lake, and hopefully we're gonna have a beautiful attraction in the lake.
Thank you. So we are going to move on to our rapid fire questions. What is one word people would use to describe your leadership style, starting with Rob?
Thoughtful.
Trustworthy.
All right, bike lanes, yes or no?
Yes.
Sure. Yes.
New modes of transit or transportation, yes or no?
Yep.
Sure, yes.
New mixed-use development, yes or no?
In the right manner, yes.
Yes, we do need it.
And new apartment buildings, yes or no?
Again, in the right manner, yes.
We don't want to make it Houston. We want to have it where it needs to be.
Okay, thank you. So we are now going to conclude with 1 minute closing statements, beginning with Amir.
Again, my name is Amir. I have over 14-year experience working with the homeowners of Sugar Land. Been serving the Sugar Land residents for many, many years. I understand what their needs are. I understand where they're coming from and what the Sugar Lands needed. I'm the person has a real estate background. We all earlier, mayoral candidates, they were talking about the developers, they're talking about infrastructure, they're talking about they talk about the real estate. So the real estate is the key. If the person has that background with the real estate and serving the community as the homeowners, he is the person for you as a next your council.
In your opinion, what has the city done well over the past 5 years? What has it done poorly? And what specific actions would you do to change that?
You want me to start?
Sure.
Why did I sit on the end? I should have said we're proudly as, right? Okay, so I'm sorry, one more time. So what are we doing really well and what are we, that's a huge part of what I'd like to do. What I think that we need to do better, gosh, I mean, I love this city. I don't know a whole lot. We do need to focus on revitalizing our infrastructure. I'd like to be able to do some of the same things that I did in District 2 for the entire city of Sugar Land, and that is to address those issues, to address them effectively, to find good, solid solutions for them, but also to find ways to save those tax dollars so that someone else is helping us to pay for them.
Thank you.
I think in my opinion, city has done very well on safety, and we are considered one of the most safe city around Texas. I will continue to support our police force, EMS, first responder. That's gone very well. Where we need improvement is possibly transparency and getting public input into the new project. I mean, the power plant was one example.
Everybody talks about what they want to do. I'm going to tell you what I've already done for District 2. So in District 2, we have our aging infrastructure. We recognize that. I started out on the Homeowners Association and then worked on our MUD 67, and I was part of that group and the chairman through the annexation with the city of Sugar Land. So I've had the experience of working with other legislative bodies and making sure that we can find the right answers for our district. But with our aging infrastructure, as the chairman of the board of LID 7, we realized that there were issues with flooding, with our water systems, and so we took action. 10 years ago, we put together a plan to increase the flood protection for our area by over 400%. The city wouldn't help us, the county wouldn't help us, Telfair didn't help us, River Park didn't help us. We were looking at a huge project on the Brazos River, and we took the initiative to do that. Not only did we do it, but we saved $45 million in your tax dollars over the last 4 years.
Thank you so much, Cindy.
Association with the resident and not when the news is leaked through the media. And that's something as a city council member I will encourage by participating in the various HOA meetings in my area, by making sure that we have town halls on the upcoming project, and take those opinions into account before spending a single dollar from the city side, because otherwise it will be waste. So that's what I will do well. Thank you.
He took my answer on what the city does well. That's okay, Sanjay, I knew you were gonna do it. One of the things, that's one of the things that the city should be able to do better is actually provide options for people that come here and serve us, right, to be able to afford to live with us. And so that's one of the things that I want to try to do here in the city of Sugar Land.
Thank you. So for the last 5 years, as Sanjay said, security is like we should appreciate. Security has been a very good thing in city of Sugar Land, and we need more funds for the security of our Sugar Land Police Department as well as EMS. We need those funds. What we need to do is we are paying 20% of the piece of the pie to the Fort Bend County as in terms of city, and what we are getting is less than 5%. So the city, as a city council member, as a city council, and I guess whoever wins, they should consider this, that we should get the return. And be very clear, nobody from the city council can control the taxation. The taxation is coming from the county, not from the city, okay? What we can do as a city council member is to make sure that whatever our...
And then I can know where can I increase and where can I decrease. But we need to make new transport, or ways to transport right here in our city, and then I can just say if I get the position, so I really can do it well.
Okay, thank you so much. So we're now going to move on to our rapid fire questions. I'm going to ask that you answer these in one word or phrase. My first question is, what is your favorite park or green space in Sugar Land?
My favorite
park or green space?
Greatest space. The mall.
Okay.
That's my daughter's favorite space.
Cullen Park.
Memorial Park.
I go to Oyster Creek Park. It is lovely.
The park at City Hall and in the town center.
Okay, all right. What is one word you would use to describe Sugar Land today?
I guess me, I'm thinking.
Yes,
Sorry.
that's okay.
One word to describe Sugar Land today?
Yes.
Dynamic.
Okay.
I would say best place to live.
I'll give you one word. Diversity, but that was 4 words. Now 7.
Foodie capital of Texas.
Safe city.
Okay. Now, these two, remaining questions are going to be rapid response, yes or no. Bike lanes, yes or no? Bike lanes.
Bike.
Yes or no? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely yes.
Bradley took my answer, absolutely.
Okay. New modes of transit or transportation, yes or no?
Yes.
Definitely yes.
Yes, as long as the transportation doesn't start with a G.
Yes. Not for gondolas.
Yes.
Okay. New mixed-use development, yes or no?
New what?
Mixed-use development.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, in the right locations.
Yes, depending on the location.
Yes.
Okay. And lastly, new apartment buildings, yes or no?
That's a tough one. I'm going to say in moderation and well done.
I would also say low density apartments.
Yes, in the right locations and the right height and right number of units.
I would rephrase it, affordable housing. Yes. Not for apartments. Multi-story high-rises, no. That's not what I came for to Sugar Land. Thank you.
I think not right now. Maybe in the future. I prefer amusement park.
Okay. All right.
My name is Gladys Nunes. I'm here running for City Council District 2 in pro of young people. So vote for me.
Hi, my name is Nasir. I'm running for City Council District 2. I'm here to get your vote, earn your attention. Please go out and vote. We don't have much time left. Early voting has started. It's the 4th day. Not many people have voted. And whoever you vote, your voice would be heard. This is a democratic process. We should go through it. Everybody should participate in this civic activity. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bradley Tilton. I'm also running for City Council District 2. But one of the things I just want to make sure you all understand is that my skill set is negotiation and collaboration. What I do for a living is taking people who have a direct opposite of the side that I'm on and just wants me to lose and get them to come to the table and come to an agreement and resolve the issues between my clients and the other side. And that's what I'm going to do in the city of Sugar Land as well. I'm going to be able to work with the wide variety of people that are going to be on the council and in the city to make sure that we have a good plan moving forward for all the residents. And I'm going to put District 2 first when it comes to the decision-making process. I'm going to be here voting for what's in the best interest of District 2. And I'm sorry for the rest of y'all that are here not in District 2, but if something comes up and it is not in the best interest of District 2, I'm going to be a no vote for that. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sanjay Singhal. I'm running based on my performance in the past positions and also my track record. I have a solid track record on delivering results, and as I promised, I will work on making sure that our government is efficient and we reduce the taxes. And as we do have output of our property tax, there is a city component. This is defined by the city, and city can reduce it if we want to. I will also make sure that the resident voices will be heard. I will make sure all the important projects are according to the wishes of the resident. And I will make sure that if I'm in the city council, I will work on the growth of the city. So please vote for me. I'm Sanjay Singhal, running for District 2 City Council seat, and I will be your voice into the city council. Thank you.
I'm Cindy Picasso. I am running for Sugar Land City Council District 2, as is everyone else at the table. What makes me different is my experience and the things that I've already done for the city and for our area. There are a number of projects that I've worked on, a number of infrastructure projects where we had to look forward to see what was going to happen. What are some things that we can do? How many of you, your water bill has gone up? So one of the things that we did was we created a water reuse system, but that was started again 10 years ago. We had to look to the future to find that. We are saving thousands of dollars for the residents of New Territory on the water that they're using in the neighborhood. So these are things that I've done. I've worked with our community. I was here during Harvey. We stayed till probably midnight listening to every single person who came to speak to us about their issues and the problems, and then we took action and we increased the flood protection by 400%, and we still lowered the tax rate for 4 years in a row.
Thank you so much to all of our City Council District 2 candidates, and I mean all of them, because we quite literally have every single one here with us today. So I greatly appreciate you taking time out of your...
And before that, I worked for Rice University. So I have been serving your city for over 22 years, along with Fort Bend County, and if you include PTOs, then it's 25 years. I've done everything from being a commissioner on zoning and planning, a member of Zoning Board of Adjustments. I've done Sugar Land 101. I'm on the advisory board of Child Advocates, but I've been involved for 2 decades. Fort Bend Chamber of Commerce, I ran membership 5 years, Literacy Council, Fort Bend. I've been on the leadership forum, and it goes on and on. To get more information, please go to mitaforsugarland.com. I am here simply because I know what we need to do. I've worked under 3 mayors, and we have resolved a lot of things. I have over 10 people as of today that have endorsed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I am Sapna Patel. I have been living in Sugar Land for 26 years, from Avalon to Telfair. I have been involved the entire time I'm here. I am the current commissioner, 2nd term for planning and zoning. I am not just here talking about what I'm going to do. I have done it. I've been there when Anson fought the city trying to get a light over there. I was the PTA president for 4 years. I was also involved with Harvey, making sure all the residents got the information. I'm known as the Harvey girl. I stood up to the mayor when they were trying to put a development where I did not think it belonged. I have been here, I am going to be here no matter what, standing up for the residents of Sugar Land. I think this is the best place to live, and we are gonna continue working together to make it stay the best place to live.
Thank you so much. You in your district right now, and what will you do about it? Yes.
The biggest issue in our district is track 5. If you guys know, that is the corner of University and 59. I am the resident who stood up to the city when they tried to put 900 apartments at that corner. I am the one who started the committee in which we found out the comprehensive plan had been revised without public comment, without public input, and we did a petition. I was the leader along with other residents, where we did a petition with 3,300 signatures. Not only did that reverse, but we got them to change the land use plan. So the development question that comes later, it's already planned out. The 4% land is planned out for the future because of the land use plan.
All right, so since I've not talked about track 5, I will talk about a couple of things. People are concerned about traffic and infrastructure. So everything from water, sewer, drainage, we've been through Hurricane Harvey, and we know what happened there. So in 2019, there was a bond issue that was passed to remediate flooding and included approximately $50 million for that purpose. Now, most of those projects are completed. There are some flooding remediation projects that have included the 2024 bond issue, which should finish the flood projects. The traffic issue is another issue. We have the city now that has put in AI. And so there should be a little bit more ease of traffic. Remember, though, that a lot of traffic is not just Sugar Land. It's coming from Richmond, Rosenberg, Missouri City, and they are coming to our city. We are getting their sales tax dollars. So because I've been involved for so long, with 3 mayors, I can't tell you, with not enough time, all the different things that we've had to do when I was working with the city. But the city works wonderful. They are doing these things.
Thank you. Our second question is, in your opinion, what has the city done well over the past 5 years, and what has it done poorly? And what specific actions would you take to change that?
City has done great with first responders. They have given them the allocation that they needed to keep our city safe. I always say, people come to Sugar Land because Fort Bend ISD is the best school district, and they stay here because it's a safe city. What have they not done well? For the past 9 years, the city has been stagnant. We've had no new development. Of course, we've had U of H that came with Jimmy. We had the mall, which came with Herbarczyk. We had the Wallace, it brought U of H. There has been no new development. If I come, I want to work on revitalizing the mall area. It needs it badly. And I want to start working on the 4% land that it needs to start. We need something new to get the economy going. We need new jobs. People keep talking about apartments. Well, who's gonna live in those apartments if we don't have any jobs? We need jobs here.
So what the city has done well, in my opinion, is the town center. All right, so when we got the town center, we started seeing a flood of income that helped keep our taxes low. Now, I have an MBA. You don't need an MBA. I have a doctorate. But I will make sure that every dollar we spend of your tax money is spent appropriately. And when we don't do these types of projects, because I would want another town center-like area for our new redevelopment. We need to figure out these redevelopment areas. The city has just purchased Imperial. It's been not doing anything for us for 20 years. If we had developed it, because I really want young professionals to move here, I want jobs for them, I want to work with businesses. We lost Coca-Cola, we lost Nalco, we gained MD Anderson. And because I'm a professor, I would hope UH Sugar Land would expand to a medical school and a business school. I look out for businesses. I come from a family of big business, and I have that background. Of course, I have the education for it, and that is what I will advocate for, along with great schools and young families.
Thank you. So we're now going to move into the rapid fire responses. Number 1, what is your favorite park or green space here in Sugar Land?
I would say the Memorial Dog Park. My Percy, my dog, and I go there often. I love that park. All the parks are wonderful. Cullinan Park, but this is my favorite.
So all the parks are great, like Sapna said, but I tend to go towards Memorial Park as well. It's close to my home, and I also go to Oyster Creek, but Memorial just happens to be close to home, and we enjoy it. We love that area, and usually it's our neighborhood that walks together there regularly.
Okay. So my next question is, what is one word you would use to describe Sugar Land today? Let's try to keep it to one word, please.
Crossroads.
I have it on my flyer. Dynamic, which is what Cindy said earlier.
Alrighty. So bike lanes, yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
New modes of transportation or transit, yes or no?
No gondola.
All others that we've discussed so far except gondola.
Right. Mixed use development, yes or no?
It's already in the land use plan, yes.
Yes, they've been talking about it actually this past week, and so yes, if it's done appropriately and in the appropriate locations.
All right. And lastly, new apartment buildings, yes or no?
Already in the plan. Yes, thoughtful development.
So because it's already in the plan, there's very little we can say, but I would hope that it would be low density and a more, featured towards something that would be for young professionals and senior living.
Okay. Alrighty. So that concludes all of our questions. Now each of y'all will have the chance to make a 1-minute closing statement.
So once again, I'm Zenith Mita. I'm running for Sugar Land City Council, District 4. I'm number 2 on the ballot. I really feel that I am the best candidate because I've got not just my years of service, but for the many, many things I've done. And you can see that in my website. I will tell you something that I do, which is research-oriented, and all the things that I've already explained is if there's an issue, I am a problem solver. Anyone that comes with a problem, there's never been a time I haven't solved it. I ask for 3 solutions. I bring our community involved in there. And so we would work together.
Everybody for sticking around this long.
Here. I don't know how many of y'all have voted, but if you haven't voted yet, please, as Mr. Pino said, that please go out and vote. Tell your friends to come out and vote, because isn't it sad that only 2% of our membership or our community has come out to vote, and we only have about 3 days left? We all know that our vote is our voice, and if we don't make that heard, what happens? Then don't complain, as one of the candidates says, right? Don't complain if things don't go your way or the way you think that it should be. Now, speaking of me, my name is Judge Sonia Rash. I'm your Justice of the Peace, Precinct 3. That's where we're located right now. I am your JP for all of Precinct 3. And Precinct 3 is a really large area. Not only does it encompass Sugar Land, but it encompasses the Meadows, it encompasses parts of Missouri City and other cities like that. I want to tell you really quickly as a JP what I do, because I have found out that a lot of times, and that's okay, a lot of times people don't know the difference between a JP, a district court, and a county court. So a JP is the people's court. And I wanted to make sure that when I got into office, it remains the people's court. That is you. It's not my office, it's your office. When you come in there for a small claims, which is $20,000 or less, or for an eviction, or for a repair and remedy case, or for a truancy case, I want to make sure that the people who walk in there, that they know they're going to be heard, that they know that I'll be fair, that they know that I will be neutral. I am running again in 2026 for my same position. I want you to know that my doors are always open for everyone. I tell you that I can speak to you about anything that you'd like to talk to me about, other than if you have a case in my court. If you have a case in my court, I am very fair. In other words, I will not talk to you about a case that you have in my court or any other JP court, but I will talk to you if you need advice about certain other things and you don't know where to go to get your resolution. If I can't help you in that, I will find somebody who can. Anyway, my name is Judge Sonia Rash, and I'm running in 2026 for your Justice of the Peace, Precinct 3. Thank you.
Hi, Debbie. All again, now the mic's working, for coming out on this Saturday, and to the candidates who came out during early voting. This has been actually a several-month-long process to plan this with many, many organizations. So thank you all prematurely. Polls close at 5 p.m. today. There's no voting tomorrow, but we hope you do go vote. Bring people with you. Just real quick, I was at an event earlier this year, last month, and the event, the MC announced to everyone it was a civic engagement event. They said, we can focus on other things this year because no elections are happening. They said this at a civic engagement event, and they live in Greater Houston. So the fact that you're here is so important, and we're so grateful for it, and we would, again, love it if you spread the word. We'll have footage from the forum uploaded soon, and we really, really need your help. We have an organizing director here, Helen Sampaio. I want to recognize her real quick. She's doing her best with our team to turn out voters in Fort Bend County, but we need everyone's help because this election is going to be decided by a small number of votes. And again, thank you all so much. If you need to check your polling location, the League of Women Voters can help you, or someone else can help you outside. And with that, I will let everyone go home.
अब तक इतना ही। देखते रहिए देसी टीवी यूएसए और हमारा OTT प्लेटफॉर्म DTV Flix, जहां 3000 से ज़ायद चैनल्स आप देख सकते हैं। यूं ही हमारे साथ जुड़े रहने का आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। अल्लाह हाफिज़।
Neurological care is a pressing healthcare challenge in Pakistan. That's why Helping Hand USA is building Kind R, a world-class hospital with 130 plus clinics that is set to establish new standards for neurological care in Pakistan. As the first phase nears completion, anticipation is growing for the launch in the second half of 2025. Give zakat and sadaqah through Helping Hand USA today and join this historic endeavor to redefine future healthcare in Pakistan.